Welcome to Project Shield Protect and Prevent presentation. Thank you for allowing us time to review with you the very important subject of preventing child sexual abuse from adults within our schools. In the next few minutes, we will review Project Shield, why it is needed, what we can do to shine a light on these crimes, and review the roles we must play as adults to protect children from sexual predators. Project SHIELD was started as a research and action committee of educators, coaches, parents, and staff in response to recent cases of child sexual abuse within New Brunswick schools and communities. SHIELD aims to enhance current practices, build new layers of protection, and create open dialogue about the uncomfortable topic of child sexual abuse. The more we are aware, the more open conversations we have, the more light we will shine on the darkness, the more we will be able to save a child from a lifetime of pain and recovery. So why Project SHIELD? A shield provides a physical barrier against attacks in battle. The metaphorical shield symbolizes the multiple layers of protection necessary to keep children safe from sexual abuse. Education and awareness, open communication, community support, policies and regulations, screening and monitoring are just a few. There is not a single person or policy, practice or program that is the silver bullet. However, together with layer upon layer of prevention, we can contribute to a child-safe school system. Together against abuse is the key. "70% of reported sexual assaults occur to children under the age of 17. Less than 10% of sexual assaults are reported to the police. Sexual assault is an epidemic. We must, as adults, recognize this. Start shining a light and breaking the silence towards these acts. For it is our silence and failure to act that creates the environment for predators to assault children. They are counting on it. Together we will change this in our schools." Sexual abuse of children is real. It's here and it's happening right now. There's a Facebook group called New Brunswick Public Sexual Offenders, and they publish a list of documented convicted sexual offenders in New Brunswick. That's the list that is scrolling. There have been several adult teachers convicted of child sexual assault, interference, and other crimes within our school systems. It's not just in schools. A social worker in New Brunswick was convicted of sex with a teen. And a recent story of the Canadian Press showed at least 250 school personnel accused of sexual offenses over the past 5 years in Canada. Even the Boys and Girls Club and other child-serving agencies are not immune. The fact of the matter is, schools, sports teams, child-serving associations are the prime target for sexual predators. It is up to us to protect our children by being vigilant, aware of grooming tactics, and talking about the subject in staff meetings, basically doing whatever it takes to stop these offenders. Not to be confused with Marvel's comic book SHIELD, which was a secret society dedicated to defending humanity, Project SHIELD is an open and public response to defending children from sexual abuse. As soon as the committee produced the SHIELD metaphor as a visual, the acronym was developed within minutes. It was amazing, with each letter representing an important action for all of us to undertake. The S stands for see something, say something. Did you know that in most cases of abuse, someone knew something was not quite right, yet did not speak up? H is for hold adults accountable. I is for intervention in a timely manner. E is for eliminating opportunities. And L is for layering in multiple protections. And D is our collective duty to act under Project SHIELD. Project SHIELD is intended to be an active, ongoing legacy effort to preventing child sexual abuse. To date, SHIELD has enhanced screening of adults, introduced 2 new policies found on the district webpage, created a volunteer coordinator position, and centralized the volunteer intake and recruitment process for schools. It has implemented the PSST program, Promoting Safer Schools Together, an anonymous reporting tool for students. It's developed a website at projectshield.ca and created posters and pamphlets as information and discussion starter tools. The Protect and Prevent Policy 725 is a major accomplishment. The policy clearly delineates 25 boundary invasions or non-professional conduct by adults within our system. There are 5 categories of non-professional conduct: taking an undue interest in a student, using poor judgment in relation to a particular student, becoming involved in a student's private life, not respecting personal boundaries, and sexually related conduct. These 25 boundary invasions should be reviewed and discussed at staff or coaching meetings in our system on a regular basis. Most of these invasions are very clear, while some are more nuanced, which will require using professional judgment and open communications with our supervisors. Having clear expectations helps staff understand their roles as professionals and to recognize when an adult is crossing an inappropriate boundary invasion. And we want to have the skills and confidence to intervene for the sake of a child's well-being. Project SHIELD will continue to implement more layers of protection in the coming years. Under awareness and training, teachers, staff, coaches, and students will receive training to recognize and report signs of grooming and/or abuse. Today is the first step in that. Next year, Respect in Schools education program will become part of our school district. And in the near future, new systems will provide enhanced screening and reference checks, as well as social media reviews for new hires and volunteers. District Policy 725, Protect and Prevent, uses clear and direct language describing inappropriate boundary invasions or non-professional conduct between adults and students. Adults need to know these boundaries and hold people accountable. As part of the SHIELDS Committee's recommendations, a rule of 2 adults is suggested wherever possible, and for staff to continuously monitor supervision levels and regular walkabouts both within the school as well as externally. As part of our volunteer practice, we will implement regular feedback opportunities for students, volunteers, and their supervisory staff. Checking in on how things are going, providing feedback, and giving the volunteer support are all part of Project SHIELD.
Hi, my name is Mark Allen, and I spent nearly 35 years as a police officer. A strong focus of my attention for many years was on safe schools, school resource officers, police school board protocols, lockdown planning, and threat assessment within schools. I worked directly with individual schools, school boards, and the Ministry of Education on these issues. I had the unique opportunity to visit numerous schools and to work with and train hundreds of school leaders over the years. A key observation from my experience is how critical school culture is and how important respect is to school culture and to safe and caring school climates. I also learned that school leaders are the deciding factor in a positive school climate. I have been in schools where the adults would sometimes let inappropriate comments or language such as homophobic comments from students in the hallway go as, "That's just how kids talk these days." Letting those types of comments go has an impact on your school culture. In the student's mind, if the adults will let that go, it becomes acceptable. It is not. I'll use this analogy. I would tell officers who worked with me that if we took care of the small issues in the community, the big issues would tend to take care of themselves. For example, if a police officer observes a citizen littering and fails to take them to task, then in the eyes of the community, the police are okay with littering. If the officer holds that person accountable and directs them to pick up their litter, it sets the tone for what is acceptable in the community. The school community is no different. The adult leaders in schools have the ability to set the tone for the school culture. A key aspect of safe and caring schools is for every child to have a go-to adult. All adults need to be prepared to be that trusted go-to adult, and when necessary, to step up and step in on behalf of the child and in support of your overall school climate.
Thank you for your attention during this presentation. So what now? It is our hope that you become the light and voice against child sexual abuse in our school system. Read and discuss Policy 725. Review the inappropriate boundary invasions together. Read the Volunteers Policy 351 and discuss. Become a champion at your school and keep the discussion going. It will help create a child-safe environment and make AESD an unwelcome place for abusers. Collectively, we can change the course of a child's life by becoming more informed, more aware, and more active in prevention and protection. Thank you.